Hello, hello. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Her Rules This Week. I am Latasha Nicole, and I'm the host of the show. Today I have Miss Nayshon with me, Dr. Nay, and I also have Miss Daijah, Miss Beaute by day over here. Just a minute to introduce myself. I am the owner of Pivot Point Publishing. As I told you guys before, Pivot Point Publishing is a publishing company for women. We help women to tell their stories. One of our projects that we have coming out is Sis Stand on My Shoulders, which is a collection of letters for women written to women that are in their 20s, written by women that are just a little bit older than 20, just a little bit older than 20. And what we seek to do with that is to help women behind us to understand the struggles and triumphs and tragedies and all that good stuff that we went through to help them to avoid those type of mistakes. So on Her Rules, every week we will have someone that is a millennial guest, which is Miss Daijah this week. And then we also have someone who is just a little bit older than a millennial, just a tad bit. So I'm going to let the guests go ahead and introduce themselves. I'll start with Miss Daijah over here. Tell us who you are.
Hey, everybody. I am Daijah Spiller. I am the CEO and founder of Beaute.By, which is a beauty company based around makeup artistry, beauty consulting, and empowering the everyday woman and entrepreneurial women as well.
Yeah. And Daijah cold with the makeup brushes, y'all.
you.
I don't look like it today, but normally this is my makeup artist, my go-to girl. If you want to see, look at my Instagram bio picture and my Facebook profile picture. Don't look at this, but look at the normal pictures and her face over there. She got it together.
Thank you. Yeah, check me out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Beaute by Day. It's Beaute by Dai. Also, you can check out some of my outputs on beautebyday.com.
Definitely check her out. I recommend her. And Nay recommended her to me. So she's the makeup artist for the whole crew today. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Miss Nayshon. We've known each other forever, and she's also one of the co-authors in the book, Sis Stand on My Shoulders. Tell us a little bit about you, Miss Nay.
All right, greetings. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, Daijah is my cousin, and so I recommended her to Latasha. She's not my artist today. I self-did this, but
No, it looks phenomenal.
but I am Dr. Nayshon Mosley, and I am an author. Again, I'm one of the authors in Sis Stand on My Shoulders, and I also authored my very first book this year, Truthfully Speaking. And Truthfully Speaking is an inspirational memoir of discovery, acceptance, and growth. And I'm also an higher education professional, so I work for a state institution working with adults that are interested in pursuing either a GED or an undergraduate degree. And I am a community educator, which means I go not only across the city, the state, as well as the country, advocating for low-income, first-generation individuals and those that are disabled or from disadvantaged populations that have a desire to go to college. I'm a mother of a senior in high school, 17-year-old daughter, and looking forward to getting to some nitty-gritty today.
Nice. Well, welcome, ladies. Before we get started, we always do our first segment, which is What's the Tea? And as I say every week, it is not about gossip because we don't do that on Her Rules. But we're going to talk about our T-shirts that we're wearing. I ask every guest to wear a talking T-shirt that either represents them or one of their favorite shirts or sayings, and we tell why we chose that shirt. So as usual, I'll go ahead and start. So my shirt says Embracing Me Naturally, and this one is purple. And there are a couple things for this. So I wore this purple shirt today because it's October, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the color is purple. So I wanted to make sure to represent that because that's something relatively important and definitely personal to me and related to today's topic. And then also because it says Embracing Me Naturally. Give a shout out. This shirt was actually done by one of my little sisters, Miss Nikisha, Miss Embracing Me Naturally on Instagram. Check her out. But it's talking about you and yourself. And, you know, as Black women, we struggle with a lot of things about embracing ourselves and embracing us naturally. And I believe, I don't think it's on this shirt, but on some of her shirts, it has the woman with the afro and the natural hair. And so it's very important that as we get into the topic today, that we embrace who we are.
Yeah.
So I will let you go ahead and talk about your shirt, Ms. Daijah.
Okay. So I am wearing a shirt that literally represents me and my brand. So it's the Beauty by Day T-shirt. It has beauty, style, and design. So these three things literally describe just a few aspects of me, things that I'm passionate about. The logo was phenomenally done by my fiance, Matthew.
Family business.
He did an awesome job. It's very basic, but I like basic things. I find the beauty in basic things. Beauty by Day with this t-shirt is just supposed to kind of symbolize everyday beauty. You kind of make up your own beauty as the days go on. It could be anything from a gothic look. It could be anything from a very soft, natural look. It could be a very, like a fall look. So it's just depending upon the day. So you can create your own beauty as the days go on.
And I like what you said about basic. I actually prefer the word simple.
Yeah.
Because it's just simple elegance. I think clean, fresh, black, white. I love it. I think it represents you well, too.
Thank you.
I think it's very fitting for you. And your shirt, ma'am?
So my shirt was gifted to me by my daughter, and I guess it's a reflection of how she sees me. She bought this shirt from the HBCU football classic that was here a couple weeks ago, and it says "Educated Black Woman," and she always refers to me as her role model in regards to education because I did decide to go all the way through with my doctorate degree. So it's just reflective of me, and then it's a sister. So she has her locks, I have my locks. And
I thought that was you.
People are always like, is that you? It's not me, but letting my locks grow back out. So I feel like it's really reflective. The glasses, the whole look. I love the color as well. It's simple too. It's black, but the gold makes it stand out. So yeah,
I like it. I like it. Well, welcome, ladies. So you guys both know why we're here. Our topic today is self-care. And I chose that the title for the show today would be Me, Myself, and I. As Beyonce said, me, myself, and I is all I got in the end. And you are your own priority, and you have to make yourself your own priority. Like they say on the airplane, you got to put your mask on before you put somebody else's on so that you can take care of you before you take care of somebody else. A couple shows ago, we talked about self-love. And today we're talking about self-care. And when the first thing that comes to mind when I say self-care for some reason is always something like massages and manicures and pedicures. But I think it goes a lot deeper than those things. I think that manicures, massages, and pedicures are important, but that's not how I would define self-care. What kind of ways do you think that we can define self-care, Dr. Nay?
Well, in addition
Dr. Nay.
In addition to the things that you just named, because I'm all with it. I got a manicure and pedicure scheduled for tomorrow.
I love them now.
We have to do, there's mental health, the mental wellness, I like to refer to it as. Just doing those self-check moments, spending time on going to the doctors. Making doctor's appointments regularly, right?
Yeah.
Not just when something's wrong, but being proactive and looking into our health care on an annual basis or biannual basis, depending on what it is. So that's just a start. Physically, taking care of the physical well-being in addition to the spirit. Going to church or meditations or yoga or just spiritually feeding yourself and just a diet. Practicing
what you put in your body.
Diet, yeah. We don't realize that a lot of the toxins that tend to come out of our body, through bodily fluids or through our skin, improper skin care, a lot of that has to do with the toxins that we're putting in.
You are what you eat, right?
So you are what you eat. And so just looking at ourselves from a holistic perspective, not just the ability to be able to get up out of bed every day, but how are you getting out of bed? Are you sluggish throughout the day?
Oh my goodness.
Are you angry? Are you,
right.
All of those things play into, are we taking good care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit? So
that's so important, mind, body, and spirit, because we miss that. We miss a lot of things. We find people when somebody says self-care, they thinking let's go to the gym and let's work out and let's get strong and get muscles, but it's so much more important than that. And we'll definitely get into a couple things. But for you, Ms. Daijah, Tell us about self-care. I know you got some stuff because I posted on Facebook that I woke up sleepy one day and Daijah was in my message like, I got the perfect thing for you.
Oh my God, let me tell you.
Waking up sleepy, first of all, that's a problem.
Yes, ma'am, it actually is a problem. So kind of touching on what cousin Dr. Nay said.
Dr. Nay.
It's, for me, especially for like myself at this point in my life,
Can we just talk about this ring? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
it just caught my attention. It's so pretty. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, hopefully a date for next September, by the way.
Nice, a year from now. Okay.
Yes. But yeah, kind of touching on what Dr. Nay said, focusing more so on your personal health and your personal well-being, because if you don't, then you're kind of just deteriorating and you can't offer anybody else any help.
That's good.
When I messaged you about the lack of sleep, me and my fiance, we use a company called ID Life for their nutrition. They're like an elite nutrition company.
Okay.
And I literally have in my lap a 46-page document that tells me what I'm supposed to be doing and eating to take care of my body.
See, and that's, life doesn't come with a 46-page manual
Yeah.
about what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to take care of yourself. I mean, when I posted that statement that I woke up tired, I didn't really think much of it. I'm just like, oh, I didn't rest well, but
Yeah.
there are reasons behind why we're not resting well.
Yeah, it could be what you're eating, the lack of the brain maybe kind of functioning too much right before you go to bed.
Somebody make it stop.
Yeah, dehydration, all different types of things. But I definitely feel like self-care, I kind of focus in on it definitely with the physical appearance as being a beauty consultant, but I've learned over time that it's not always just about cosmetics and skincare. It literally has to start inside of you.
Yeah.
If your gut is not healthy, a esthetician told me that essentially if you have an unhealthy gut, it's going to reflect on your skin.
So I remember one day years ago, maybe about 5-10 years ago, maybe even more, I was in the mall and they had a little makeup facial place in the mall. And I do suffer with acne. It's getting a lot better now, but it used to be worse. And the lady looked at me, she said, I could tell just by looking at your face you don't drink enough water. And that was something that I had never really thought about before, really being careful about drinking your water and eating what you're supposed to eat, because it does reflect in your skin and in other ways in your body, like you said. And we miss the signs. We don't really pay attention to what's going on. One of the things, as I was preparing for this, I read the article about Beyonce's dad and having breast cancer. And they said that he noticed, his wife noticed that it was blood on the sheets and that he had blood on his shirt. And that's what caused him to go to the doctor. And I just wonder how long had he been experiencing some type of symptoms? Because I don't think you just wake up one day with blood on your shirt or on your towel and you're like, time to go to the doctor. Well, I guess when you see the blood, you're like, time to go to the doctor. But something had to happen before that. Something had to have gone awry before that. And I think a lot of times, part of us not taking care of ourselves is not paying attention to our bodies. And I know I'm guilty. Are you guilty?
I absolutely can agree with that. Many times we don't even know our bodies. We're afraid to explore our bodies. We're afraid to touch our bodies, afraid to look in spots, to figure out, is it in alignment? Is everything intact? And a prime example, I just had to have a biopsy done yesterday on my right breast. And it started with, but had I not gone and gotten my annual mammogram and gotten those results and followed up on those results and then the other results, it's been like 3 or 4 trips. But had I not gotten the initial one and had I not done the follow through, then I wouldn't even be aware of what's going on with me right now. So I'm waiting on results to come early next week. But imagine how many of us out there that got some results sitting somewhere that we don't even know are out there because we won't go get the initial exam.
That's such a good point. We go get the initial exam, but we never come back for the results, or we never follow up with the treatment for so many different reasons. And it's, healthcare is expensive and it's scary. I know I had the flu a couple weeks ago, and the doctor recommended that I go to the emergency room because of some other things that were going on with me. And I didn't go to the emergency room because I just felt like if I went, they were going to keep me in the hospital and all that stuff, because I just didn't think I needed to go to the emergency room. But the doctor made a point of saying people don't want to go to the emergency room because of how much it costs. And so we're letting the factor of finances get in the way of how we care for ourselves. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And even more basic than that, before we get to a problem, we need to just be more careful about what we're doing and how we're treating ourselves. Maybe setting up some type of morning routine, a wellness. You have one? You have one?
Literally. So with finding this, so I did a DNA test with ID Life. So it pretty much told me.
What do you mean DNA test?
So literally, they send you a box. You can order it off their website. It's ID, or you can really order it through Beaute by Day at idlife.com. Or I'm sorry, beautebyday.idlife.com. But you can order the kit. It comes with a number of their lifestyle products. But essentially, they send you a little box. They send you swabs and instructions on how to do the actual DNA kit. And you just swab your cheek with all 4 Q-tips, stick it in the package, and mail it off. And
so an actual DNA test?
Yeah, so this is an actual DNA test that tells you about your health. It's not necessarily ancestry or history or anything like that. It's more focused around DNA, genes, and your overall health. So for me, it told me I need to do HIIT cardio. I can't eat only 3 meals a day. I can't eat, in small, little patterns. I have to literally eat small meals throughout the day to make sure I don't black out.
Oh,
Some
wow.
people think that, you're greedy, or you're always eating this, that, and that. I have learned that I do like to go back for seconds. But it told me, make sure before you go back for those seconds that you go 30 minutes after. Wait a minute.
So you have a whole plan, though.
Yes. I know what to eat. I know what maybe time of day to eat what. I know what kind of workouts I need to do. And it just so happens that I'm on a 21-day fast. I'm on day 3, and I've been doing really great. So that's another part. Just the simple fact that I want to be well as a whole being. Spiritually, for me, that has been kind of opening my eyes up to a lot of things, and especially developing Beaute by Day and developing as a younger woman. But essentially, that's just something I decided to take on as making sure I take care of myself.
That's good. How old are you? Can I ask?
I'm 24.
That's amazing to make the decision at 24 to take care of yourself, because I wasn't, or I don't know where I wasn't at all. I actually still terrible with taking care of myself, if I'm honest. But as far as being conscious and being intentional about how you take care of yourself, that's amazing. And I guess you're going to be the expert on the show today, unless you got some insight, because we really need to know. I mean, it's great that you have the ID Life to help you, but if you don't, what are some things that you can recommend just from your studies and your research, and you as well, that we can do to help better take care of ourselves?
I definitely recommend maybe kind of planning out your days, using a planner. Planners are amazing tools, whether they're in your phone or in an actual booklet. Kind of planning out your days. I find it odd that I have to schedule a time to shave my legs, or schedule a time to maybe pop
You said you find that odd?
I find it odd because I never thought it would be like, let me make sure I take care of this zit on the side of my cheek, or I never.
But that's important. We get so busy and push past so many things, and just think about how long you'll go. They used to always say stuff like people only get manicures and pedicures in the summer, because in the winter nobody's seeing your feet, so you just kind of keep them. So if you're not intentional about the things that you do to care for yourself, we will skip over them. So that's a really good point too, is to put it on your calendar. And that's actually important, putting yourself on your calendar, scheduling some check in with yourself time, some self-care time, because we don't, especially women. We put everybody ahead of everything, everybody. We working, we got kids, we trying to climb the corporate ladder, entrepreneurs. I'll get back to that in a minute. And before you know it, you sick. You in the hospital. Your head hurt. You know, something happened. People walk around all the time in pain and learn how to live in pain. I know I have been able to manage headaches so well that I know if it's a headache that I can manage or if it's not. You know, some headaches I'm like, that's just a little headache. You know, that's nothing. But really, you shouldn't be hurting. it's probably something that we need to learn our triggers, because there are triggers, as you probably know, and I'm sure you've learned to, with migraine headaches. There are things that you could do to help yourself with that. You don't have to suffer through it, but we do.
Yeah.
We do.
And I feel like I've noticed that, especially with black women, especially looking at women in my family, we are literally used to or numb to pain until it actually does
Till it's
hurt
too
us
late.
and bring us down, because we're so used to having to work through things and just take ownership of a lot of our life and other people's lives.
Yeah, because who got time to stop?
Yeah.
I mean, right. And so usually you don't take the time to stop, but eventually your body will stop you, and then you're out of it. You're done, because you've waited so long. Where there was a small symptom at first, you could have taken care of it and gotten on top of it, but you didn't, and it kept escalating and escalating until it was actually gone too far. So with that being said, it made me think about something. If I was to ask you, what are 5 things that you really care about, or 5 things that you really love? Can both of you all give me 5 things that you really care about? Give me 5 of them.
5 things. First of all, my daughter.
Okay.
Unequivocally, my daughter. I care about a mentoring organization that I'm involved in, where we mentor young women and men. I'm very passionate about that because we're raising up our own new leaders. I'm passionate about the work that I do, the advocacy that I do for low-income, first-generation individuals. I'm passionate about me. I'm not afraid to make a change within my lifestyle to be able to make sure that I can sustain me, whether it's going to a doctor or changing a diet. I'm very passionate about myself. And I like to binge watch TV. That's something I'm passionate about.
What's your show?
What show? First of all, this is my night, Thursday night. Y'all Grey's Anatomy and all my Thursday night shows.
Grey's Anatomy still come on?
It's back on this fall season.
Oh, check
Grey's
it out.
Anatomy,
I haven't seen that
Beaute
forever.
Murder, but no, and I like that. I'm not being funny, but I do like that because I spent many years not feeling guilty for watching TV. When I was in my doctoral program, I didn't watch TV. I didn't even know what was on TV.
You didn't have time. Yeah.
And so when I got out of school, it was like, hallelujah, I can watch some TV and not feel guilty. So very passionate about just being able to sit down and put my feet up.
And relax.
And not have to feel like I have to be somewhere, I have something to do. Because we do. Always.
What are your 5 things?
5 things that I care about are, I care about myself, definitely. I've learned how to do that unapologetically as well.
Good job.
I kind of grew up thinking that, it's not always about you, or being taught that it's not always about you. It's not always about me, but it helps if I think of me first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am passionate about my relationship with God. That's kind of what saved me and has kept me sane and has kept me down to earth and focused from the past 2 years. I've been saved. I care about my family, particularly the women in my family, whether they're siblings, cousins, grandmothers, aunts, because there are a lot of women in my family, and I see how, in a way, they can be neglected when they take care of a lot of people, or they don't get enough care that they need as a young woman, or may feel that they are underserved or unloved. I really do care about them in their hearts. I care about my future. I'm passionate about my future.
As you should be.
Especially with Mr. Eglin Daniels.
This young love. She should have been on the show last week, Corey.
I'm very passionate about that because I know it is going to be something spectacular, so I definitely want to protect it. And I'm passionate about my gift to the world.
Nice.
Given that and serving people in any way that I can, I've learned that was my gift, was to definitely serve people however I can.
Good stuff. So I asked that question for a reason, and
Did you give us your 5?
I don't have 5, man. I don't. I mean, I'm sure I do, but I hadn't thought about including myself in my 5. But the reason why I asked the question was, I just wanted to see where we would put ourselves on the list of priorities. And the difference between the millennial and the non-millennial, I don't know if yours were in order, but you put yourself number 4.
It wasn't in order. It was an off-guard question.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting it, and I went first.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, no, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that I'm fourth on my
Okay.
list at all.
Okay, and you put yourself first, but she did have a little bit more time
Yeah.
to prepare. And that's why I didn't answer it, because I already knew the question and I knew to answer it me first. But a lot of times we don't put ourselves first. We don't even put ourselves fourth. Actually, had I asked you probably in a different setting and not talking about it on the show, you may have not even mentioned yourself and how important you are to yourself. But you surely would have still mentioned your daughter. You surely would have still mentioned your family, you know, because those are the things that we think of, things that we have to take care of. I know many years, my kids are grown now, I wasn't a priority at all. I had to make sure that they were okay, that I made sure that they were where they needed to be and that they were at school and that they were doing the things that they needed to do. But if you look back at your family, you look back at the women, you know, they were so busy probably putting you ahead of them that they missed a lot of things that was going on with themselves. Can you attest to that?
I definitely can, especially with my grandmother. We had to force my grandmother to go and get her nails and her feet done. Like, it was that intense.
That though, okay, so with going to get her nails and feet done, forcing her to do that, I could definitely see that. But some people, you got to force to go to the doctor,
Yeah.
to take their medicine, to actually take care of themselves, not treat themselves,
Yeah.
but take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Especially our men, especially black men.
Oh yeah.
Going to the doctor for them is like you got to almost just handcuff them, put them in the car, hog town. You know, it's like it's because men, I'm fine. They're taught to tough it out. Oh, I'll be fine. I'll be all right. I'm all right. It's just a little this or it's just a little that. Put some tussin on it. You know what I mean? So many of our men don't do a good job of taking care of themselves, and then as women, we're overcompensating, trying to take care of them, and in the process, neglecting ourselves. One of the things that I've learned is that as a when you talk about DNA in your family, when you know what you're predisposed to, so if you know that diabetes and high blood pressure and all of those things run in your family, why would you make decisions that would be counterproductive to you avoiding those things? So why would you eat unhealthy foods? Why would you constantly put certain things in your body when you know your DNA says that you are predisposed to those particular things?
Do you think that what you're eating and what you're putting in your body, I just kind of had this conversation, it makes a difference where you live too, based on what you're eating, what you can get.
Food deserts and all of that. So if your nearest store is the store up on the corner where they charge you $3.49 for canned goods, or all they're selling is canned goods, and there's no fresh produce, fresh freezers or fresh produce sections for you to get your food, and there's no access to quality food, absolutely, because you're putting pesticides and everything else in your body versus healthy green living.
Yeah.
And I've noticed too, like even in just the area we were driving through, you see, and I work downtown and I live in Bronzeville close to Hyde Park, so I'm always seeing like fresh food places or healthier options, salad bars.
But depending on where you are.
If you're in Inglewood, you're going to see Harold's Chicken and Nick's Sky.
And I love Harold's Chicken, don't get me wrong.
But on every other corner, you're like, okay, can y'all add something that's...
They tried to put the whole food,
Well, they're upgrading, yes. I can't say that.
They are.
Myself a few weeks ago, and I was like, if it was not just because I didn't have any place else to go in the moment, but it was expensive, and so, and I make a salary. But imagine for individuals that can't even afford to eat healthy, you gonna eat the fast food.
Right.
I see kids eat Cheetos all the time, all the time, Cheetos for breakfast. But I will say, speaking of, because you said Whole Foods, Aldi's is trying to come up now. They have changed such a lot. I get a lot of my produce from there, and
You know, that's part of the Whole Foods family.
No, I didn't know. So that would make sense. But they definitely have options there. But you have to be purposeful yet again about what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, what you're feeding your family, and also what you're taking in, not just food wise, but period. I know both of you ladies told me that you were on social media breaks.
Yeah.
Because that's an important part of self-care.
Yeah.
Detaching from all of that stuff, the news, like the guy that was just on the show before us he's a visitor to Chicago, and he was saying that, oh, Chicago, I'm gonna get shot or something like that, and the news is putting that stuff out there, and you taking that stuff in, and when you sitting back all day long, I think about things now that I never would have thought of before. I actually, every time I get in a car, unfortunately, I think about the fact that I could get shot driving down the street. And putting that kind of stuff on your brain all the time, that creates anxiety and worries, and I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop that particular thought process from crossing my mind. And I think that is something that we need to figure out too, how to help with anxiety. Do you all have any things that you do to kind of calm yourself when you have a lot going on?
Yeah, I talked earlier about just self-checking with your mental wellness, whether it's the therapist, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga. I have a daily routine. Every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to bed, I have some type of devotional or meditation thing that I do. I have air demystifiers where I'm, pouring out, essential oils, but something to try to calm my mind. I had suffered from migraines, but mine were hormonal, but paying attention to my body, I was able to figure out what I needed to do to be able to rectify that. And so thankfully I haven't had a migraine in the last 30 to 40 days. And I was having 4 to 5 of them per month.
Yeah, I used to be bad like that too. I used to have them. It was so bad where I had a medical excuse from work. For migraine headaches. I was getting them just that often and just that regularly. Yeah.
So just, whether it's meditation, yoga, I started yoga on Monday, but knowing your body and knowing what you need and recognizing when you're in an anxious state, right? So many times we're so used to just going about our day, or, we even, acknowledging ourselves, oh, but that's just so-and-so. She just agitated. She just this. Or she hungry. Well, why is she acting that way? Right. And what can we do to help this individual figure that out so that they can rectify that and that not become an identifier for them? Oh, she's just agitated. Well,
let me ask you something, both of you all. How do you know when you feel anxiety in your body? What does that feel like? Because a lot of times I think we can skip over that, not paying attention to what that sign is.
I even have that in my assessment that I know I have anxiety.
I think we all do. I think living in the city, they say, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I know that I moved away from Chicago and I came back, and they say a lot of people that were raised here have PTSD or very close symptoms.
I could believe it. Well, like I said, I work downtown. Like seeing all these people, all this fast movement, talking to like 10 people within like 3 minutes, like with 5 different conversations, can kind of cause like some anxiety for me, especially escalated issues. Ways I kind of cope with my anxiety is, I would definitely say I'm a smells, touch, I'm like a senses person. So I need to have like some lavender oil. I've tried doing like lavender oil on my hands at night while I sleep, or putting it on my pillow, and it helps to calm me. I do know that if I feel anxious, I will start to pick my hands.
What is feel anxious?
So feeling maybe like, the best way I can maybe describe it is maybe feeling a little jumpy, agitated or irritable, can't really think straight, or feeling the need to maybe just not have this fight or flight reflex, but very just unsettled. Instead of feeling calm, peaceful, relaxed, you feel kind of tensed up, and maybe even something going on with the mind as far as your thoughts racing, can't really think straight, just processing too many things at once. And I feel like social media, that's why I'm fasting. One of the reasons why I'm fasting from social media is to kind of keep my mind from trying to process too many things going on at once.
Yeah, so much.
And I think anxiety can look different for different individuals. It for me, when I and it doesn't happen often, but my daughter suffers from anxiety, and so her anxiety looks very different from my anxiety. And so being able to pay attention and understand what brings on her anxiety, a lot of assignments at school, a lot of back-to-back due dates, a lot of things like that. Then it gets her in an agitated space, or it gets her in a space where she may shut down. So it really looks different for different individuals. For me, I can get anxiety if I'm overstimulated. So if it's a lot going on, and I'm move about, I'm always involved in different things, but if I'm in a space where I'm overstimulated, where there's music and there's conversations and there's other then I'm like, okay, I will literally do like this, like I have to bring myself back, like wait a minute, hold up. But it just looks different. I've been in spaces at work sometimes where I would find myself feeling dizzy. Like I have to mentally bring myself into a space of calmness. So again, it looks different for different individuals. But one of the things I do is I kind of go inward. Because a lot of times I will be out. I'm not processing what I'm feeling or what I'm dealing with. So I know when I'm in that space, it's time for me to go inward. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And what can I do to kind of calm this space for myself? So.
Okay. Okay. So I know for me, anxiety definitely usually starts in my belly. A lot of times, you feel something in your stomach. Something just doesn't feel quite right. Okay. And I'm, like you said, I'm a busy person. I got my hands in a lot of projects going on, and sometimes my body, I'll feel it in my back. I'll feel the energy in my back. My head will start to hurt, and I have to take a moment and stop and recognize what's going on. Because as you said, as we all agree, we push through stuff. Like I got deadlines to meet. I got stuff to do. I don't have time to stop and deal with this. But anxiety will escalate, and it'll actually make you physically sick. It'll make you to a point where some people can't even go out in public because of the anxiety that they said. Like you said, a lot of people being around, a lot of things going on, a lot of noise, things like that. So we have to take into consideration the things that trigger us. And we have to definitely get a coping mechanism in place, whether that's to just stop what you're doing and go sit down in a corner somewhere and be alone. Because sometimes you just need a minute to refocus, adjust yourself. I love the candles. I'm a candle girl at home. Candles, you light me a candle anywhere, or a plug-in. I got plug-ins all around the house now because those are helpful. I've tried the lavender on the pillows. Even for my dogs, I got a couple dogs, and they get when fireworks and things like that are going on. The lavender helps. I've never tried was it CBD?
I haven't either.
I haven't tried any of that
oil.
stuff. Have you tried it?
I have tried some droplets, and it was really because somebody just was telling me to try it out because I told them I was having like some leg pain. I was standing on my feet all day. Oddly enough, now I'm remembering it, it relaxed me like unintentionally. Like, how you're thinking about, oh, this is going to work. I'm sitting here thinking about how my feet were hurting, and I'm just like almost like sinking into my seat, shoulders relaxed, and I'm just like at peace, like, and then my pain went away, and this was in like a matter of minutes.
Really?
Wow. So if you get a really good strand of CBD oil, I would say try it, because
I'm so scared. Y'all don't even know. I've never smoked anything.
I don't think there's any like
it's not the same as weed, but in my mind it is.
Or anything that gets you high with CBD oil, especially if it's medical grade. But
so it doesn't get you high, because that's my fear. I swear. I feel like I'm going to get high.
And you'd have to, grab like a trusted vendor. You can't just grab from anybody. It seems
like it's everywhere though. Nowadays,
you can't trust it everywhere.
They were doing something on the news the other day. People were selling these gummies and other things, and it's not a strain of CBD in it, but they're promoting it and advertising it.
It's like that in the drugstores. They are. I think Dr. Oz said that only 13% of these companies who have these CBD products actually contains the CBD to make sure that it works. Even if you read the bottom of the ingredients list, you're gonna be like, okay, why is CBD all the way at the bottom? First.
So what's all the rest of that stuff in there? Just stuff, additives.
It's called dimethicone and silicones and glycerin.
Placebo effect. We think
most
we
definitely.
Fixed. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Wow.
And I think it was. Is it THC or HTC?
I think I said it wrong. HTC. That's okay. The one. Why you looking like this for you?
THC, something like that. I'm over here talking like I know what I'm talking about. THC.
THC. What is that?
I think that's the ingredient that where you feel that effect.
Did we really all just like, oh yeah,
that elevates it? Yeah,
Look,
actually see the phone.
It sounds right. We got the letters there.
Right.
Y'all know
It
what
sounds
we meant.
professional if you say it right.
And she said it all smooth.
And we like,
Yes.
See, but
That's funny.
I am definitely afraid of that. But I've been hearing a lot about it. A lot of things. You know, now everybody as an entrepreneur, I follow, read a lot of other entrepreneurs, and everybody want to sell cannabis now.
Yeah.
And I heard it's legal. Is it in Illinois soon? Or,
Oh,
So-
yeah. You can smell it throughout the city. It's legal now.
Oh, is it? Hosting cannabis at my job. I work in Chicago State, and we're hosting something centered around cannabis, and in Illinois. And in my particular office is located at what we call an aquaponics facility. So there we grow different greens, vegetables, plants, tilapia, and they're looking and they're looking at bringing it there to that particular location. So some potential things that may be on the horizon, but I mean, people, it's an industry, right?
Yeah.
And people are trying to see how can we either maximize this industry or benefit from it in a way that not only, business owners, but the community can benefit from it.
Okay.
We know that they've closed a lot of mental health facilities in
Yeah,
Chicago,
yeah.
South Side, North Side, and West Side. So what can we do to help support it if it's not necessarily a marijuana per se, but it is something that can help calm someone dealing with some anxiety or dealing with some symptoms of some sort that may be affected by their mental wellness, then why not, right? I think one of the things, and I know you did a show about mental health in the past, but it is really important to talk about when we're looking at self-care.
Oh yeah.
And in our community, being the Black community per se, we find mental health to be such a taboo topic, and I think
Is
we're
it
getting.
still?
I think we're getting away from it. But it still is something that even if we can talk about it openly, but the three of us could be talking about it, but not everyone will say, well, I have a therapist, or I've been to a therapist, or I need to see a therapist, or girl, give me your therapist number. I think we're getting to that place, but it's still so far removed from our conversation, our day-to-day conversations, that we're not talking about how we're doing on a day-to-day basis.
Because
These conversations are not happening often enough to the point that people are suicidal, people have thought about it, people are depressive. People don't realize that depression is an actual thing. It's not just
I'm
oh,
sad.
I'm feeling, or I'm sad, or I'm not crazy if I'm depressed. No, depressed means that you're dealing with something, and there's ways and there's individuals that can support you through that. There's coping mechanisms that you can use to get through that. But because we're not willing to go talk to somebody about it, or what happens in my house stays in my house, then we grow up to be depressed little girls, to grow up to be depressed women that don't know how to manage our own emotions, our own care, and everything else that we've been taught to suppress. Shows through our belly, shows through our outbreaks in our skin, shows through our eating and self-care patterns, or lack
And that's
thereof.
so true.
Yeah.
All of the things that you said are 100% true, and I can attest to them just myself, because I know at the time I didn't necessarily know that I was going through depression. But what I do know is when I look back at pictures from a different period of time in my life, my face always was broke out. You know what I mean? I always had a headache. I always was just irritable, didn't want to be bothered. But when someone asked me how I was doing, I was like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. Like, that's the standard answer. No, I mean, I guess if someone says how you doing, you don't want to be like, well, I had 8 bad things happen today, but nobody's talking about for real what's going on. I was on Instagram because Facebook, I got locked out of Facebook, and I kind of liked it a little bit though. I
Intentional.
I didn't like it at the time because I was so connected to it, but not being able to get on there, I was like, I got a lot more time on my hands. Because whenever I wasn't doing anything, I was on this phone, on Facebook, looking at things. But so now my vice is Instagram, but it's okay. I'm working through it. But I was on Instagram and I saw Maisha Cheney. She's the wife of one of the pastors that was on that show. What was it called? Pastors of LA, Preachers of LA.
Preachers of
LA. I like that show. Y'all don't judge me. I did like it. But she was on there. She has a movement called Hiding Behind the Lipstick. And it's kind of like about taking off that mask. Because we all do wear a mask. People are not talking about things that need to be talked about. Just like for me, myself, I was involved in a domestic violence situation for a very long time. And it wasn't that I was hiding it. I just didn't even know that it was something that I really needed to talk about. It was kind of one of those things, what happens in my house stays in my house. And it's done and it's over with, but those things have residual effects. When you go through something, you go through some type of trauma, it comes out. It comes out in one way or another, and we need ways to bring that out and get out of that. And yoga is something that you said, and I know a lot of people are using yoga to help to alleviate stresses and to just help yourself, your body. I think yoga does more for your posture and your body and things like that. Have you tried? You did yoga?
I have not tried yoga. I've been wanting to, but after taking my little test, I was thinking even Pilates, because I've always kind of wanted to try Pilates. I've noticed that whenever I do something very physical to where it gets my heart rate up, that I feel really good afterwards. So exercising.
Do you run?
I am a runner. So what I'm going to probably start doing is making myself a running schedule, a jump rope schedule. And then, like I said, usually after that, I feel like there was just this release of energy that needed to come out. And I feel calm and relaxed. I get really good sleep after that.
Running is good. Do you run?
I started running a couple weeks ago at work. We have what's called Walking Wednesdays. So we are doing this kind of challenge at work, and midday on Wednesdays we walk. But I challenged myself to not just walk, but to run every couple miles or every couple laps. But in terms of just the yoga itself, I've done regular yoga and I've done hot yoga.
Hot yoga is the bomb. Oh my
goodness! You are sweating from places you didn't know you can sweat from,
and you sleep so well after that.
People assume that because it's so hot, oh my God, I'm gonna be drained. I lay out there for a minute, but I get up and it's like a second wind. It's a whole new burst of energy. It is. Try it. Go on Groupon. They'll always have like a 5-6 week special. But I love yoga, one, because it isn't just the physical. Your mind is relaxed. You're taught to turn off your mind and just like allow your body. We're so tense. Like even when I first sat here, I'm so used to sitting straight up. I was like, oh, I gotta relax a little bit.
Get comfortable.
But we're so taught to like be like this that yoga forces you to kind of relax your shoulders, lay back, allow your body to just be. And that's not something that's really uncomfortable for us, but to embrace being comfortable and just being. And even in therapy teaches you turn your mind off. Hush.
So a couple weeks ago, we had this thing at work where I think she's technically a life coach, but she came in and she was teaching us about meditation and things like that. And she gave us this tip at first: before you start to meditate or anything, you need to do something called a brain dump. And I know my brain doesn't turn off very easily. Actually, it was very hard for me to do a brain dump because my brain never turns off. It's hard for me to sit still and at peace for 5 minutes, let alone 20. Has anybody mastered that?
It almost feels guilty for me. Like sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. Am I supposed to be doing something? Should I relax here? Okay, maybe not for too long. Like I start thinking about it too much.
It's terrible.
But meditation is the thing. Like I find myself in meditation even. I'm like, I literally try to get like 5 to 7 minutes in. If I'm feeling real super girlish, I might go 10. But minute 3, my mind is like, okay, how much more time do I got? It's like you start thinking about getting the day started, or I should turn my mind off, or but it literally is a challenge. But if you keep practicing at it, I won't say you'll master it, but you'll get better at knowing, because we always have situations and circumstances or seasons where our mind is more racy than the other. But I think the more you practice it, the better you can become at it. So
I might have to try something because I'm not good at it.
I would say try listening to. There's a lot of playlists on Spotify that have to do with like calming. So they have things with like ocean waves or violin strings or
it's not gonna work for me.
None of that works. Worship music.
I mean, I do. My mind that's one of my struggles is turning my brain off. And you both kind of know me, and it's a lot going on. But I have I put on like on my Pandora playlist. I'll put on something like that, or someone introduced me to a website which had guided meditation on it, and it had the ocean waves and all of that. And it did not calm me. Like, it's just background noise.
You know what you need?
What do I need?
An accountability partner.
Oh God, I do. I really do. I really do. Somebody that. But how can you keep me accountable for being calm?
Hey, what you doing? Typing a paper, trying to feed my dog, getting ready to pick out this outfit. Oh, okay. When you get a chance, go ahead and take a deep breath.
And I'm gonna be sitting holding the phone,
so on and so on.
I gotta go.
Or maybe that could just be your distraction for that moment. But
now that is actually talking to friends is
like a good one.
Yeah, it's a good distraction. That'll be like if I can get into a good conversation, because I can't even watch TV for that same reason. I can't sit still long enough to get into a TV show. But talking to friends and laughing and stuff like that, that's good therapy for me. Laughter is definitely good therapy for sure. So what else? What other kind of things?
I mean, I'm a music person.
Okay.
Even at work, I'll turn on either my YouTube music station or Pandora music station, and my staff will crack up because at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, I might be bumping some gospel, some Tasha Cobb. By noon, it might be Erykah Badu. And by 5 o'clock, I'm bumping some jazz. It's just, and then one day, all in the same day. So I think listening to whatever my body is feeling or whatever my mind and my spirit is feeling, whether I'm still feeling inspirational, whether I'm feeling gospel, whether I'm feeling like I feel like some 90s Biggie. Let's do it,
I mean, because we between Proverbs 31 and Cardi B. Like for real.
I think honoring yourself, like honoring all of who you are. I think a lot of times we're so used to trying to be what the expectation is or be what individuals expect us to be. So for me, I'm a lay minister in my congregation, and so the world would typically have someone with the title of a minister or lay or whatever. Oh, you can't listen to Biggie, or you can't dance, or you can't. The heck I can't.
Right.
I was, I grew up in the 90s, and so this music makes me feel a certain way. I can feel liberated here, just as I can feel liberated over here.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
So I think being honoring yourself, being true to who you are, and not being afraid to be that in front of the world. I think when the world sees that you can be all of who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what your audience is, then it becomes easier for me as a believer. It becomes easier for people to be like, oh, okay, I can do that. That whole Christian lifestyle ain't so bad. Oh, yeah. So black and white. Like, I literally
That's a great place to start today.
Play your gospel, mass choir gospel. Play some real worship music, worship that you probably wouldn't normally play. And when I tell you that stuff calms my spirit, I listen until I get on my train for the day, and then maybe I might end my day with some hip hop, some R&B.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I know what did India Ari say? Do whatever feels good in your soul.
That's right.
It really feels good to your soul. So I want to go over. I always look for an article related to what we're talking about, and so Forbes is a magazine that I enjoy, and one of the things that some of the things that they said about self-care is to know your worth. Know that you are important. Self-care is important to maintain healthy relationships with yourself and other people. It produces positive feelings. They said a healthy work-life balance. I don't know. A lot of people struggle with that. Are we still struggling with that up here?
Oh, no. I had to tell my job struggles with that.
They struggle with your work-life balance.
They want me to be there all the time.
I'm taking out tomorrow. I don't think that we struggle
Personal
with that
days.
anymore. Definitely because so many of us nowadays, we're not that go to the same job for 20, 30 years anymore.
I don't know anybody.
We're entrepreneurs plus 9 to 5 people plus, this and plus that. And so I think those circumstances are forcing us to tell them jobs, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Or not.
A half a day.
Tomorrow not for me. But whatever's not done will be here when I get here tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Stress management. Definitely managing your stress. Start living and stop just existing. That is a good one. That's a good one. We're going through with our checklist and just checking stuff off. So guilty of going out and making sure you get the perfect selfie while you out instead of enjoying.
Put the phone away.
Let's make sure. Let's sit down and make sure.
Take a trip. I'm so sick of people saying I'm going on vacation. and you ain't going nowhere. You
Nayshon,
the house up.
I ain't been on vacation since
I
2012.
got a belt. Maybe use my belt. But I mean, and I recently I think I spent my 40th birthday in South Africa. That was something that I wanted to do. It was a bucket list item for me, for turning 40. And ever since then, my best friends and I have done an international trip. I was like, oh, Mexico is cool and all, but there's
Let's go
more
some
world
further, yeah.
to see. And so I think that's honoring yourself too. Treating yourself. You go to work every day. You got a job, a salary, some benefits, and some bills and everything else. Use your time, and we can do anything if we plan for it.
Absolutely.
It costs too much. I went to South Africa for 12 days under $4,000, included every single thing except for a couple of meals. We can do anything if we plan for it, but our problem is we too afraid to plan for it. We rather spending money on it. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Get me started.
But-
Put my soapbox up.
Girl, sometimes though we gotta get on each other about that because we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not honoring ourselves. We're not valuing ourselves. So definitely the topic for today was me, myself, and I. And the important thing about that is we got just a couple of minutes, right, Corey? So the important thing about me, myself, and I is doing things that will help you,
That's right.
yourself, your soul. And with helping yourself and your soul, you can help your community.
That's
You can
right.
help your children. You can help grow your businesses. But if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot expect to sustain taking care of anything or anybody else for an extended period of time. Do you all have any words that you would like to leave with our audience about caring for yourself? And I'm so proud of you, Daijah, I have to say. This millennial over here, y'all are, every week, these millennials are coming in here, and I'm like, okay, all right. You guys just look at stuff a little bit different. I think you look at what happened before you and say, okay, I need to change some things about that, and that's amazing. So I would love to hear if you have any advice that you want to leave with our audience before we go.
Yes, I would say definitely, if you are a believer, create that space and that relationship between you and God, because He's going to show you how to take care of yourself. He is going to take care of you. Another thing is to definitely, it's never too late. For some reason, this is coming up, but for women especially, it's never too late to look good. It's crazy to say, but when you look good, you feel good.
You do.
So please take time out to, like I said, go and get your nails and toes done. Maybe go get you some lashes, get your eyebrows arched.
And it's not a splurge. That's not a splurge.
It's taking care of your appearance, because when you feel better, or when you look better, you feel better. But also, even just as far as like pampering yourself, I feel like we don't really do that unless we do go out and go to a spa. But learn how to pamper yourself and take care of yourself at home, and create a safe space within your home as well.
That's a good point, because my home, I like to make sure all of my favorite things are there. I spend a lot of time there. So you want to have your nice, comfortable blanket. You want to have your favorite coffee or tea or wine, if that's your choice. I guess your CBD oil with the HTC or whatever Corey said it is. THC. Thank you, Matthew.
CTH. Jesus Christ.
We don't iPhone. I want to work. No, but whatever those things are that make you feel well. And I want to make sure to say to be intentional about what you eat, and make your appointments. Go to the doctor, go to the dentist, go to the hairstylist, get a massage, go to the chiropractor. Did you have anything?
I do. So Daijah mentioned just her 21-day fast. So I just finished a 21-day fast. And I think one of the things that helped me be successful, and one of the things that limits our ability to be successful with taking care of ourselves, is preparation. So preparing at the beginning of the week or preparing the night before, I think really helps us be intentional about, and it just gets your day started out, better. When you're rushing around trying to find this,
it's the worst.
In the morning before you leave out, you worried about whether you forgot something. And I think just being intentional about preparing ahead of time is definitely, and again, putting self first, honoring your no. Honoring your no. And
no is a complete sentence.
A whole complete sentence. and being unapologetic about it. Don't feel guilty for honoring your no. And so I definitely think that starting there,
I like that. And with honoring your no, another way to look at that is don't say yes to something when you want to say maybe. Don't say yes, say maybe.
Right.
So you give yourself that room, because in stand on my shoulders, that was one of the things I talked about in my chapter is agreeing to stuff that you are not in agreement with.
That's right.
And that's hard.
That's real.
Yeah.
That brings anxiety, that brings stress, that brings resentment. So honor your no and say maybe if you need to say maybe without saying yes. So that's about all that I have. I definitely thank you ladies for coming on, bringing your
you.
advice. If they want to reach you, Ms. Daijah, tell them again where they could get in touch with
You
you.
guys can reach me at beautebyday.com, or you can reach me on social media on Instagram or Facebook at beautebyday. Beauty by Day, BEAUTE by DAI.
Thank you. And Ms. Dr. Nay over here, tell them about Truthfully Speaking and how they can contact you.
Sure thing. You can reach me. My website is Truthfully Speaking with drnay.net. And also you can reach me on Facebook at Truthfully Speaking with Dr. Nay. And Instagram is Dr. Nay _ the author. Dr. DOCTORNAY _ the author.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. As I say, as I end every show, this is her rules. My belief is that when a woman makes the rules, she changes the game. So you make the rules for your life, ladies, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you.